What is going on, comic fam? It's your boy, the Bearded Comic Bro, and I am joined by comic legend Mike Deodato. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. And I don't know about legend. I feel old when you say that.
Well, legend as in like a super talent, not as an old.
Okay. So is your name Osborne after Norma Osborne, or is your real name?
I always had an affection towards Norman Osborn, but no, that's my real last name. So,
Okay.
but because of that, then it was kind of cool to have such a well-known name in a Marvel universe for sure. Not a good look necessarily for my last name, but it works. Well, Mike, you've been involved in comics for a while. I've always been gravitated towards your art style. And like
Mhm.
to kind of get to know my guests before we hop into some of your new projects, because you got two new books coming out with AWA, Expecting the Unexpected, the Ronda Rousey book, and then you have the Universe of Oz, the Land of the Lost Lands. And I want to hop into those books, but I kind of like to know, how did you get into creating comics and being a comic creator?
Yeah, it's a long story, but I'll try to make it short. My dad created the first comic book in my state in Brazil in 1963. So from there, I was just watching him creating comics. He never could make a living off comics, but we ended up he creating stories for me in the 80s, and I learned a lot from him. And then I started doing a career in Brazil, first doing fanzines and then small companies. And then 1991, I started doing comics for US at Malibu Comics. And then 1993, I did Wonder Woman, and then my career really started.
It sounds like you always had a love then for comics growing up as a kid, getting to like having your dad of is
Oh yes, yes. This. I don't know if you're gonna take video or it's
yeah,
just
this is the
audio,
video.
but
Yep.
okay. So all these books you have, I had it at home. The old books of my dad. So I started reading as a kid books from EC Comics, the ones there is no censorship.
Yeah.
So I started very bad. Oh my God, this is good. So I didn't turn out in a in a bad guy, but my love for comics, watching and reading those precious comics like Steve Ditko when he did Captain Atom,
Mhm.
such a great job. And so he was always buying comics for me and my brothers. And when I decided to become a comic book artist, he was the first to support me. So I was really lucky.
Yeah. And I wanna hop into, your art style and stuff throughout the interview, but I would love to know, how did you kind of get connected with AWA? Because I know for a long time, like you said, you were doing work at DC and you really got connected with Marvel. So, and then as of last, couple years, a lot of your work has been focused at AWA with Absolution, Not All Robots, Redemption, all of these different wonderful comics, the J. Michael Straczynski book. So like how'd that kind of come about?
Yeah, it's Axel Alonso's fault. Because I I worked with him for a ton of years at Marvel. He as editor in chief, so we had this relationship. He's one of the guys that I trust more in comics, not only for his competence, but only we have a friendship. So when I decided to leave mainstream comics to do independent comics, uh, he heard about it and then he called me. Okay, I'm doing this new company. I want you to join me. He didn't have to convince me because I trust him. So I got into, and that's that's the story.
Yeah. So is there was there something that gravitated you towards doing more independent comics? Just like you had your felt like you had your time at doing like the licensed property and you wanted to kind of explore more?
Yeah, because I had spent only at the Marvel, it was 24 years doing superheroes. And then at one point, I tried to do an independent comic at the same time with Jeff Lemire, Berserker Unbound. And it was crazy because a, a writer can do 10 books a month,
Mm.
but an artist can only do both if you are fast enough, do two or maybe one. And then I realized, no, I cannot have the both dreams. I have to to be able to do independent comics. I have to leave the mainstream, unfortunately. But it's been fantastic. I won my first Eisner because of this. So this decision. So it was good.
Yeah.
Good
Uh,
decision.
yeah, very, very good decision. And your work on Not All Robots, the series that won the Eisner there too, like was fantastic. And I'm a huge fan of Mark Russell's work as well.
Oh yeah, he's such a nice guy too.
Yeah. So when you get a property like let's talk about Ultimate Oz that's coming out here, I believe in the fall. I want to say in November. We'll put the actual dates here up, later on in the interview. But the Ultimate Oz universe, right? This is multiple volumes. It seems like when you get this idea, like someone pitches you this idea, what is it for you of like trying to figure out the style of characters for this universe? Because you seem to put your own twist on some.
Yeah, the thing is, first time I heard it, I wanted to make it a cyberpunk of everybody. So my first versions of the characters were the guys were like, "What? No, this is," and then they no, we make this way, turn it down a little bit, but we can use them in a certain part of they will transform with time. Oh, okay. Then I started with more classic visual, and then later my more savage vision comes through. But what I wanted to bring it was one influence of mine that I never had the chance to use much. It was Frank Frazetta's influence. For me, fantasy is Frazetta. So I'm trying to use my Frazetta cap as much as I can and bring those a lot of lines. It's a hell of work, but it's fun because every panel, every scene is crazy. Uh, it's it's more than I ever imagined. Everything I like to draw is there. It's
Yeah.
monsters and trees and witches and anthropomorphic animals. I don't know. So it's great to it's a lot of fun all the time.
Well, and so this book takes place, it seems like after the events of that we're all familiar with The Wizard of Oz,
Yeah.
obviously then stuff before Wicked, all that stuff is very popular. And so when you get the scripts, to kind of start to lay out this artwork for you, were there characters that you gravitated towards first that you're like, I can't wait to draw this character in this universe?
Yeah. It's 1,000 characters that they write to create. I didn't know that. And every time I do, I create a concept design of
Mhm.
every one of them. Uh, because if usually I create the character during the story, I don't like to waste time doing concept designs. I do, but since it's a lot of people to make decisions, and then I prefer to do this way so everybody's on the same page. But it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. That's one, like that's one of the things I've always loved about your artwork is you have a blend of fantasy like in this world, but you also have that very realistic style of people and things. And it seems to be something that started very beginning of like, Beauty and the Beast, even like some of your early works of like those realistic drawings. Like how did that kind of art style for you come about of crafting these realistic people more than like comic booky style? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's an influence of Neil Adams.
Okay.
Uh, Pogo Lacy, when he did Master of Kung Fu, and he put there Bruce Lee and James Coburn and Marlon Brando. I was, oh my God, this is so cool to be able to cast your own movie. So I do that the same thing. Sometimes People complain, but I don't care.
So you just like, you know what? A lot of times I feel like artists and writers get asked like, "Oh, if your comic got made into a movie, who would you have?" And you're just like, "Well, I just draw them in anyway, so it doesn't matter."
Yeah, I just wait for to be sued, but so far I'm okay.
And so you have these projects, like at AWA. They're all vastly different ones that you've done your art with it as well. How do you kind of figure out what tone you're going to have with your art style when it comes to like a different project at AWA, whether it's Ultimate Oz Universe or Expecting the
Yeah.
Unexpected?
Well, I never give master classes. I never teach because I don't know how to explain my process because I have no idea. I do it by instinct. I don't think about it. And then what I do is, for instance, when I decided to do redemption for AWA, I wanted to be very classic style, and then I put the panels very traditional panel one after another, and then when I did Not All Robots, I thought, okay, this is gonna be in the future, so I can play with the crazy panels and do my style that Brian Bandit's named it what was Mondrian style,
Yeah.
because of the crossing. It is actually a mix of something I see Steranko doing on Outland, his adaptation for heavy metal, and something that Chris Bacalo did on Death with Neil Gaiman. So I mixed it, and so I decided, based on what I guess it's right for the book. Really have no answer.
Yeah.
I'll really do things without thinking much.
Yeah.
Um, I'm a terrible teacher.
No, that's fine. That's great. I because I love to understand the process. Like, and you mentioned your panel layout, like especially in the Lost Lands here, the Oz book. You like there's some like the panel layout is so unique and wonderful. Of like sometimes you'll even have where you have characters overlay, like of a fairy, in the
Yeah,
foreground and the
that's
panels
it.
in the
I
back.
want it like to look like a puzzle, and I like taking pieces of the pages so I can balance the negative spaces. It's just fun to do. What I when I used to have a little difficult with storytelling in the 90s, but then I had a master class working with Bruce Jones on Hulk,
Mm,
and then oh my God, it was so good because everything he put in the script, if I followed it, it it would work. So back then I decided to make panel by panel. I even decided to make the panels apart one of another so it not confuse the reader. Then I got it. Okay, I got it. Storyteller. So I don't think about it anymore. So
mm.
I'm free to play with the layout without thinking, oh, is it gonna to interfere with the narrative or not? It comes naturally. So I'm free to play with the design without worrying on the storytelling.
Yeah. You mentioned how you've had the chance to, you know, look back at your designs and your panel layouts and kind of not have to worry about that. Being in comics, like you mentioned, starting in the 90s, really, how has your time in comics, has your art style really shifted of how you approach art and how you create comics throughout the years?
Yeah, back then, I remember what's the name? Harris, Bob Harris.
Mhm.
He met me in San Diego Comic Con 1995, and he was telling me how I should work on storytelling, and because I'm doing the crazy layouts because of image influence and McFarlane and everything. and now he was telling me, and I was not listening. It goes from one ear to another. I'm not gonna do that. But then, because I think I'm a late learner, I later, with after 40, I was 40. Then now I got it. Now I know the story more important, and I have to do everything to tell the story, and then I can show off later. But I have to. It took me time to understand the priority of things, but. Uh, One thing that happened in the 90s was that I literally lost my love for comics because I was working too much.
Mhm.
And then in the 2000s, I had to um, rewire my brain and get my love for comics again. And that was like I was reborn. I had to to be able to do that. I I remembered when I was doing independent comics when I was a teen, and then the emotion I felt with my body telling stories in my room. Oh, can do that in that scene, and then that's what I like in comics. So I could. Um, I wish I could do that for more things in my life, but I was able to rewire my brain and get my career in track again. And it's always a learning process, and sometimes you get too comfortable, and then you have to be able to realize what's going on with your art. If you are you getting stale, are you are in you have to keep challenging yourself.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. I love hearing that. I love kind of hearing the, your journey through comics as well. And you've worked with a lot of well-known writers, that has probably
yeah.
helped shaped, your stories a lot. And one of the things that I'm excited I get to talk to you a little bit about is one of your stories you got coming out from AWA is Expecting the Unexpected, where you get to work with Ronda Rousey,
Wow.
and like that's just cool to say. Um, but like, what was that experience like of craft? Like when you got this sent the script for Expecting the Unexpected of like that, bringing your talent to that book.
Yeah. First of all, I do karate, martial arts, so I'm big fan of MMA. So I watch all the Ronda Rousey fights, and I was impressed how she brought judo to MMA. It was so cool, and she grabbed him. Wow, somebody! Oh man, it was so great. And um, so I was when I was told that she was going to write a book, I was kind of, I don't know. I thought it would be like those celebrities that write a book but don't. But then when I saw the script, so great. The dialogues, it's so real, and a lot of emotions and love and fighting, of course. And talking to her, we did some video calls, and talking to her via emails, you can see that she is the real deal. She cares about every detail. She knows what she's doing. She's not a fake writer, and she's very good. Um, and then I was very excited, and she paid attention to every detail, every detail, because there was this one panel where she there is the main character, and she was the whole body there, and she was there, the hand was there, and I think the nails are too long. How she's gonna fight with that? Oh my God, she pays attention to everything. But but she's really committed. She sent videos with the fight choreographies,
Hmm.
and usually it's up to the artist, but this time I have to just enjoy. It was everything was there, and a lot of great choreographies. She's really good on it. So yeah, it was a double honor to work on a great book and with Ronda Rousey,
Yeah.
and she gave me also a lesson of humility. When when you were on San Diego to signing books, me and her together, I didn't sign any books. Everybody was going. I was just watching her to sign books, and oh, that's the first time. And she's so gracious, talking to the fans. Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah. So you mentioned that in the process that, there was a lot of video of the fight sequences, and there was even in the back of the Kickstarter book. I was looking over there because I have it on the shelf of, photo reference photos and stuff for you to see. It
Yeah.
seems like the fighting in this one is so particular of what the vision was for this book of, like you mentioned, the judo and those techniques. So how did that differ for you compared to other fight scenes of like where you, because this is a very much martial arts, fighting style book compared to some of your other action-packed books.
Yeah, the difference is when I do a fighting scene by myself, I try to balance between reality and a good show. You know, it's like Bruce Lee. He didn't fight like on the movies. He in a real fight, he was short punches, and then he wouldn't do those. Expose yourself with a long kick, but it works visually. So my tendency is to balance and sometimes to go more for the visual appealing than what would work on real life. Uh, Ronda Rousey, she wants to make it real,
Mhm.
so it's fantastic, and she chooses carefully the the background on where the fight is going to happen. There is a fight on the bathroom, on the restroom, and she calculates everything going from one style to another. There's a fight with inside a building with the stairs, and every floor there is something happening. It's amazing. I love stairs to draw. It's so graphic, and I could put the scenes showing the whole stairs and things happening while the people. Uh, Pogle's influence, of course, he was a
Mhm.
master on it, and so the main difference is that she looks for a more realistic approach, and I go more for a you know something that work visually than in real life.
Mhm. When you do, because you do such elaborate books that expand all across, like you said, like there's the bathroom fight scene in this one, there's the stairwell, then you have the fantastic, world in the Ultimate Oz universe. For you as your art, like, do you pull stuff from memory? Do you use reference photo? Like, how do you kind of figure out what style you're gonna do, when it comes to drawing?
Oh yeah, I use reference all the time, all the
Yeah.
time. I pose myself as most of the characters. I use the lights of my to create the shadows I want every scene. So if a friend is close to me, okay, give me your hand. So I take a picture. Yeah, I do it all the time, unless it's like, for example, a monster like the Hulk. How you can in Hulk you have to do for memory. There is no who is gonna be the model for that. And yeah, I also Google all the time for essence for backgrounds. Yeah, I have to use the tools I have.
Yeah.
Um, as long as you don't be what's the name? It doesn't handicap you.
Hmm.
You have to trust on your layout. You do your layout the most free as you can. The energy is there, and then you can bring the references to fit the layout, not the contrary. So that's my
Hey,
way.
yeah, you mentioned, having the internet. That is something that kind of came in later throughout the time frame. So it probably helped the ease of comics sometimes of using references otherwise than going to
Oh
libraries and
yeah, I used
photos
to
and
have
all of those things.
a lot of drawers with reference for hands, smiles, and animals, and that was the terror of doctors' offices waiting room, because I would read the, the magazine and I would rip any reference. Okay, and because I would save for my files. Now we have Google. Oh my God, I love it.
So if you ever were in a waiting room and there were pages missing, it was Mike's fault.
Yeah, 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 that's me.
So
Once my first trip to New York City, I was taking one picture for a step. Oh my God, this oh my God, this reference, reference, reference.
that's so good.
Now,
Now you can just type it into your computer and pull it up.
oh, Google Earth, and then you go to the street, and then oh, it's amazing.
That's so good. Well, Mike, I want to respect your time. I've adored your work, and your
You.
stuff that you're doing at AWA has been fantastic. Is there anything that we haven't gotten to talk about yet that you wanted to just mention that, of what you're working on, what you got going on?
Uh, yes, I cannot talk about it. I'd
No,
love
that's
to.
fine.
I'm the terror of the marketing in these companies because I always talk too much. But I'm doing more stuff for AWA. It's gonna be great. That's all I
Awesome.
can say.
No, that's great. And so where can people follow along with you to stay up to date with what you're working on and have coming
Yeah,
out?
yeah. Mike Deodato at Instagram, X, and Facebook, and I'm there. I always respond to everybody.
Yeah. So, gang, if you're watching this interview or you're listening wherever you get your podcast, um, pick up expecting coming out in October, and then the Ultimate Oz Universe coming out in November. Uh, Mike, thank you so much for just taking some time to talk about comics with me.
Thank you, thank you. I enjoyed it. I like to see that you really understand what we're talking about. Sometimes some people don't, but I can see you. Even Beauty and the Beast, you remember? Oh my God.
Yes. Well, and what I love is like even that style of it is it was more of a paint style compared to what you're doing these days. So it looks
Yeah,
like so.
yeah. I
Uh,
have to pay bills, so I have to learn everything.
I love this. I love to just see the transition through that of, of how your process shifts and changes and stuff. And I think that's really cool to see the growth and that. So, but thank you so much again for taking some time
Thank
to
you.
talk with me. With that being said, gang, go out, check out these AWA books. Go check out some of the other ones that we've mentioned in this episode. And hopefully you can find some time to curl up, grab a book, and nerd out.